Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
Karmendriyani sanyamya,
ya aste manasa smaran,
ya aste manasa smaran,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
yastvindriyani manasa,
yastvindriyani manasa,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
karmendriyai karmayogam,
Karmendriyai karmayogam,
asakta savishishyate,
asakta savishishyate,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
karmajyayo hyakarmanaha,
karmajayo hyakarmanaha,
sharirayatra pichate,
sharirayatra pichate,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
yajñarthat karmanonyatra,
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
lokoyam karma bandhanaha,
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
tadartham karma kaunteya,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
mukta sangha samachara,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
saha yajñā praja srishtva,
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
येषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
येषवोऽस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we were seeing what karma bandhanaha is from the absolute level. Actually, the moment you talk of the absolute, what is it that we are indicating? Absolute means the infinite, the supreme. The supreme God principle is what we call as the absolute. If you see from the worldly standpoint, there is nothing called the absolute. That is why in higher mathematics, in calculus, the mathematicians say that any sequence tends towards infinity. They don't say it becomes infinite or it is equal to infinite, tends towards infinite. Very technically, that is the phrase which they use. For example, if you say 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, the sequence, endlessly it's going. Now, what is the value of the sequence? They say it tends towards infinite. For practical purposes, in order to proceed further, they may bring it down to the next level and say equal to infinite. But this is the fundamental principle which they have, because the moment they say it is the infinite, then they are defining it by its very nature, by its very definition. Infinite cannot be defined or located in a pinpointed way. Now, if you see from another standpoint, everything in the world is limited, has a beginning and has an end, has a basic capacity. Whereas the moment we talk of infinite or absolute, there is no capacity. It is endless. You can't measure it. There is no beginning, no end. So any instrument which you use, which belongs to the world, cannot capture the infinite. It can only capture a portion of the infinite. From a spiritual standpoint, if you use your body, let us say the senses, okay, let me now see God, let me try to hear God. Now, the senses are limited. They have a limited capacity. So, they will not be able to capture that experience of the absolute, of the infinite fully. It's like you take a vessel to measure the ocean. The vessel can measure the ocean only according to its capacity. I want you to understand this because last week I had explained to you the importance of studying these things from the absolute level and from the relative level. When it comes to the relative level, your understanding can be very good, it can be complete also. But when it comes to absolute level, there is no fixation to that. You can only keep going into it and getting inspired more and more and more, and you will just get absorbed. Your consciousness will just get sucked in. Why? Why do we say that? There is no fixation. It is because of this fundamental principle. That is, anything finite can be measured, whereas infinite cannot be measured. So when we use the finite equipments to experience God, now whatever we experience cannot be the absolute, but it can only be a small portion of the absolute, which is determined by the capacity of the instrument which you're using. So if you take a small vessel and you try to measure the ocean, now that small vessel will tell you, the ocean has so much of water. Now actually, the vessel cannot give you the measurements of the ocean. It is only giving its own measurements. Or rather, it can capture the ocean according to its capacity. If you take a larger vessel, now it will say, no, the ocean is more big. It will give you different dimensions. According to the differences in the vessels, the measurements of the ocean may look as if they are different. But actually the ocean is one only. It is the nature, the different natures of the vessels which are used to measure. That is where the differences are, not in the ocean. So one person approaches God or the infinite in a particular way and says, this is what is God. Now, is it right or wrong? It is right, but it is still a limited concept, because according to whatever his equipments are, he is saying something. That is his level of understanding, that is his level of emotion. Another person may say, no, this is what is God. That is a different vessel which is being used. Now, the idea behind using, that is, trying to get into both the absolute level and the relative levels in yogic approach. Relative levels is very easy to understand. That is to practice, get into the practical tips. But when it comes to the absolute level, last week I told you one reason is to get inspired so that you become more focused with the higher. But there is also another reason, that is when you focus on the absolute level and you keep gaining that part of the wisdom also, slowly you get the capacity to rise beyond the limitations of your equipments and you start merging with the infinite. Equipments means your senses, your emotions, your thoughts. So when you say, I want to see God, that is a very limited perception of God. Some people say, I saw God. Now, whatever you can see with your eyes, there is a minimum and maximum limit for your eyes. So anything which you see can be only a limited portion of that infinite. Just as, remember that vessel ocean example, it becomes very easy. Whatever water is being held by the vessel, is it the ocean? Yes. But is it the full ocean? No. There are limitations according to the size of the vessel. Similarly, when a person says, oh, I saw God, that is limited by the very capacity of that sense organ. It could be the eyes. Then another person may say, when I heard a particular song, those were divine, He says that. Again, that is limited by one sense organ. Then you go to a more subtler equipment like emotions. Can I feel God? Yes, but not fully. Why? Because your feelings have certain limitations. They are finite. So whatever you can feel about God may be true, but it is not the ultimate. It cannot be the ultimate. It cannot be the absolute. So sometimes you say, I had a divine feeling. Yes, you are right in saying that. But side by side, as a sadhak, you need to understand that this is not the ultimate truth. This is a very important utility of using the yogic approach and gaining the wisdom from the absolute level also, because you learn not to conclude at any stage, yes, I know it all, I have captured it. You never make that statement. If you are a good sadhak, you will just keep on going with it. So emotions are more subtle. When it comes to the intellect, thinking, again, that is another instrument which you can use, very subtle instrument. But can you really think about God? Can you capture God with your thoughts? The answer is yes and no. You can capture a part of God, but not fully. Because the thoughts, the intellect is finite and God is infinite. So sometimes you say, I have understood what the infinite is. The moment you say that, there is a logical fallacy there. You have understood, you are right only, but whatever you have understood is not the whole truth. So, when you keep on using these finite equipments to, experience the infinite, nothing works. You will only get caught up with some idea or some emotion or some relative experience, and then you will get an ego that, yes, I know it all, I have experienced everything. A master keeps on watching the student. He never allows the student to settle down with anything finite when it comes to spiritual development. Sometimes he may give you one sadhana. He may ask you to do it for many months, many years. And after all that, when you feel, now I've got a hang of it, he may come and say something different. Not to create more confusion, because that is not the aim of the master. But he is doing that so that you don't get fixed with that relative experience. Even at the Upanishadic level, this can happen. In one of the Upanishads, the master goes on giving that energy, and very, very powerful mantras are given, and the empowerment is given, and the student goes to the highest level. There is one step short of the highest experience, and the student gets caught with that. The student feels that, I know it now, I have experienced. Immediately the master puts a word of caution. He says, whatever you are experiencing is not the truth. So that gives a jolt to that student. You can imagine the Upanishadic level students are at a very, very advanced stage. That experience that student would have got should have been a very profound, deep, mystical experience, just one step short of that infinite realization. But even there, the master stops the student from indulging and settling down. So when it comes to the world, you can settle down. But when it comes to the infinite, never try to settle down. Keep on with your sadhana, keep on with your pursuits. You get into the depth of one principle. I have understood. That should only inspire you to go into more depth. That should not stop your pursuit. So in the yogic approach, we use the relative wisdom to get practical tips about our, how to solve our day-to-day issues, how to purify ourselves. All those tips can be obtained. When it comes to the absolute wisdom, these are the two purposes. One is for inspiration, and the other is to never settle down and get a feeling, I know it all. And it is so true, because when it comes to the absolute wisdom, any number of times you listen to that, it will do something to you. You listen to it 100 times, you will find that it will give you different meanings. Sometimes the same meaning, but you will understand it with more depth. It will be an amazing experience. And it's again not restricted to 100. Any number of times you get into it, you will feel you're still in the process of growth. You're still traveling. That is a very important quality which you should develop as a sadhak. That is what Bhagavan Dattatreya said. Be a Nitya Shishya, be an eternal student of the infinite. All the great masters, all the great saints practice that. The world may call a person a master, but he does not consider himself as a master. If you go deep inside, what is his view about it? He never considers himself as a master. He always considers himself as a learner, as a student of the infinite. Because the moment we talk of infinite, there is no end to it. So there is no end to learning. The more you go, the more you will keep going. So the relative wisdom helps you to solve the issues, the practical issues which you have. It helps you to get prepared. The absolute wisdom helps you to get absorbed into the infinite. The more you soak yourself into that, you will find a strange thing happening to you. You will start losing yourself. Now, this can be taken in a negative sense also. If I lose myself, is that a positive thing? In this context, yes, because you are losing yourself, which means you're losing your individuality, but you're gaining the totality. Your horizons are expanding. Your consciousness keeps on expanding. Like when a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, we can say a caterpillar is dead, it has lost itself. But on the other hand, it has become the butterfly. It has gained something more. The life of a caterpillar is very restricted. It is in a state of bandhana, we can say. Bondage. Very, very restricted, limited life. But the life of a butterfly is that of freedom. It has got two wings. It can fly anywhere it wants. So from the state of bondage, the caterpillar has to get into a state of freedom. It is only through growth that can happen. Similarly, you are in a state of karma bandhanaha, which is a state of finiteness. Now the great masters are saying, you actually don't belong here. This is not your real place. What you are is the infinite. And in that infinite lies complete freedom. Now you are unable to grasp what they are saying. And even if you grasp, even if you understand, it's only a small portion. Actually, a caterpillar will feel uncomfortable when it's not prepared if you forcefully try to turn it into a butterfly. Now it will feel very uncomfortable. It will say, I don't want, I'm quite happy here. Unless the wings come out naturally from within, the caterpillar is not ready to get transformed into a butterfly fully. Just having a desire to be a butterfly is not enough. It has to develop those wings. Similarly, just saying I want to be the infinite is not enough. You will have to develop the spiritual wings, which is what the entire sadhana is all about. The Yoga Sankirtan sadhana slowly develops the wings in you, the spiritual wings, as it were. And as you get those, as you progress, then when you're ready, you will also become 100% free like the butterfly. So that is the beauty, that is the utility, if at all, of also gaining this wisdom from the absolute level also. Because otherwise, you may wonder, sir, I am at a particular level. Now let me just learn this wisdom from my level and stop with that. No, why should I even put in any effort to learn the wisdom from a higher level? The problem there is that if you just merely stop with the wisdom from your level, there will be no growth at all. You require a pull from the higher also simultaneously. You keep putting in the effort at your level, but at the same time you require a pull from the higher so that your consciousness can be uplifted. A master, a guru comes into your life to pull you up. he does two things. He gives you practical tips at your level, but at the same time, he is looking for the right moment where he can pull you up a little bit. The empowerment programs are designed for this upliftment only. Tomorrow we are going to have the Yoga Sankirtan empowerment for this year, no? The unfolding your inner divine powers. So for 5 days, there's going to be intense sadhana, intense energy flow, tremendous healing is going to happen. But apart from all this, energy transfer is going to happen. So the personality, your consciousness gets pulled up. So a lot of practical tips also will be given, but at the same time, the energy of the absolute wisdom will be fully provided in the empowerment, so that from whatever level you are in, you're pulled up a little bit. It is only the energy from the absolute level, it is only the energy of the infinite which has the capacity to pull your consciousness up, to uplift your consciousness, to expand your consciousness. So it is not only here. As we go along, we have been already doing that. I may not have explained to you in this particular way. That's all. But we have already been practicing this. And going forward from here, you will find this approach being automatically used. Sometimes certain practical tips will be given. Sometimes certain very high principles will be given to uplift you. So as a sadhak, you should get a natural sense of what to do with this wisdom. Whenever the practical tips are being given, you absorb them into your life and you practice. Whenever the wisdom is given from the absolute level, you get absorbed into that. In the relative level, you absorb the knowledge and you practice it at your level. The absolute wisdom, you get absorbed into that energy, and that completely purifies you, it uplifts you, it inspires you. And the amazing thing is, you will never feel it has ended. See, that is a very positive sign. Every day when you do your sadhana, if you are a true sadhak, you will feel, today I have started. I have started my sadhana only today. Why would you feel that? That is the very nature of the infinite. That is the very nature of God. The more you get absorbed, the more is there to further get in. The more you understand, the more there is to be understood. The more you feel, the more is there to be felt. That feeling is always there. You will never lose your enthusiasm to do your sadhana if you follow this method which is being suggested. That is the yogic approach. Otherwise, you will do sadhana for a while, then you will give a break. How can you give a break when you are trying to pursue the infinite? And the beauty is, at every step you will get more and more enjoyment in terms of depth. That will keep you going. So last week I had mentioned to you the relative absolute. This week I'm giving you further insights into that, just to make you understand how powerful this yogic approach is. It attacks you from all angles if you use it properly, so that you cannot escape. You will have to grow. See, if you're with a true master, if you surrender and if you follow whatever he's saying, there is actually no escape. You will have to grow for the better. So, karma bandhana, the bondage caused because of karma. So, as I told you last week, karma in a broader sense means any kind of expressions. So, if you take the physical body, the expressions are the speech and the actions. Actions means I'm including even perceptions also. The perceptions, actions and speech. Now, if your identification is with your physical body, then you will be bound by the physical body. Whatever happens to the physical body will happen to you. If something goes wrong with your body, let's say there is a pain or now you will get so affected by it. Whereas, how does a yogi approach it? When, let us say, the body becomes sick or it has some pain or it has some issue, the yogi attends to the physical body. He does whatever ought to be done. But his approach is totally different. He is detached from the body and he takes care of it to the best of his ability. He doesn't get internally affected by that. Just as when you're driving a car, let us say something goes wrong with the car. Let's say, one tire is punctured. Now, are you going to get internally so affected by it? No. You will just take the stepney and you will fix it. And you will give the punctured tire to a mechanic and ask him to fix it for you. You will do whatever is required to do because you are separate from the car. You understand the car is a vehicle. I am different. I am using the car. Now, what these great masters are saying is that your physical body is also a vehicle only, which you are using to experience certain things in life. Getting affected by the physical body is like getting affected by whatever happens to the car. Supposing the car gets overheated. No, you will not get overheated. If the car stops running, now you will not stop your activities. You will not stop thinking or your whatever activities which you are doing. So a yogi takes care of the physical body. The difference between a yogi and a normal person is that a normal person is identified with the body fully. And he or she is bound by the expressions of the physical body, the perceptions, the actions and the speech. Whereas a yogi is identified with the infinite and he uses the body as a vehicle, as a tool. So externally it is not possible for you to find out. Only if you know the internal state can you say whether that person is a yogi or not. So in the Shastras, they are not asking you to drop the physical body or to drop the action. They are not asking you to drop the karma. They are only asking you to remove the bandhana, the bondage. So this is with respect to the physical body. Then what about the expressions of your mind? Your mind expresses as various emotions. So when you identify with your mind fully, then whatever happens to your mind happens to you. If your mind is joyous, now you will feel so elated and excited. If your mind is sorrowful, now you will also feel down. You means here the consciousness, the Jivatma, as an individual soul. See, this part is very difficult. Even the physical body, that itself is very difficult, but it's at least easy to understand it. But when it comes to the mind and then the thoughts, it becomes very difficult even to understand, much less conceive that. But yet, when you keep on putting that effort and when you keep doing your sadhana, slowly, slowly you will begin to get a hang of what these great masters are saying. So when your mind is sorrowful, now you get affected by that sorrow fully. How does a yogi approach it? When his mind feels sorrow, now he will be a witness to that. He will use various techniques to solve the issue. He will use various techniques to get the mind back on track. But he will do it in a very calm and collected way. Again, externally you will not be able to know. Supposing a yogi's mind expresses anger, let us say. Now, he will not allow that anger to touch him or her, whatever. There, by him or her, I mean the soul, because he is identified with the soul. Rather, he will see whether that anger is good or not, if it is, that whatever be that emotion. Is it good? Is it harmful or beneficial? Beneficial means he will encourage it. Harmful means he will substitute it with a positive emotion. He does all these things objectively. So again, these yogis are not saying stop feeling or stop all the emotions. If you stop off all the emotions, then you will become like a machine, like a stone. So at the emotional level, karma means the various expression of emotions. So they are not against the emotions, they are only saying don't get bound. So you got to split this phrase, karma bandhana, into two parts. Karma is there, bandhana is there. So no need to stop the karmas. It is only the bondage which has to be solved. I am explaining this to you in this way because this is going to be the base of getting into the yajna, which we are going to get into from here onwards. So I just want you to understand this basic principle. Similarly, at the intellectual level, at the thought level, when you identify yourself fully with the intellect, then whatever happens to your intellect happens to you. Every thought affects you. If it is a positive thought, you will jump, If it is a negative thought, you will go down. See, this part which is being explained to you now is much more subtle, is much more deep than what was explained to you earlier. See, generally we say generate positive thoughts. That is and all at the very relative level only. Now we are stepping up the level a little more, because that is required to go into the depth of the next portion of this verse, and also he is going to continue with the theme of yajna for a few verses. So you need to step up your level in order to go into the depth. So every thought, that is, the intellect expresses itself as thoughts, which is called as karma at the intellectual level. But the bandhanaha, bondage, is there because of your identification. Whereas a yogi identifies with the infinite. So how does he approach the whole thing? When the intellect generates thoughts, again he views it objectively, like a witness. So externally, a yogi will be exactly like how others are. In one of the later verses, we'll be seeing that. Krishna directly tells that. He says, later on, when we come there, we'll see it in detail. He says, a man of wisdom will act exactly like a man of ignorance. A person who has this wisdom will act exactly like a person who is ignorant. Then you may wonder, what is the difference? He says, but with one big difference. The ignorant person will be attached, the wise person will be unattached. Which is what in the next line also he says here, Mukta Sangaha. The approach is totally different. That is why we say spiritual growth or spirituality is not about merely changing your lifestyle or conforming yourself to any particular tradition and all that. No, it is your internal attitude which really matters. So karma is there, bandhanaha is there. So with respect to the karmas, we will try to choose the best of actions. I'm only telling you how the karma yoga, the principle of karma yoga is structured. The sadhana of karma yoga is designed to get you out of the karma bandhanaha. How? Number one, on left side is karma, right side is bandhanaha, bondage. So on one hand, it helps you, it gives you the clarity to help you choose the best of actions. Go on refining your actions. But merely that is not enough. On the other hand, it gives you the higher wisdom to free yourself from the clutches of these limitations. So instead of karma bandhanaha, you will start living your life in a free way. Performing all your activities without bondage, with total freedom. What an amazing experience that is. I just want you to conceive and appreciate it, get inspired by that. Because the more inspired you get, the better you'll be able to practice the subtle principles which he is giving, as a solution. So the world is bound by action other than anyatra. That also we just saw a little bit last week. Anyatra means except. So having stated the problem, now he focuses on the solution. He gives both of them parallelly. As Albert Einstein said, every problem has a solution and the solution lies within the problem, he said. It means now the question is, are you problem oriented or solution oriented? So I had explained that you have to become solution oriented. One sadhak has raised a question He has asked as to what do we mean by moving from being problem oriented to solution oriented. I'll just explain that a little bit and then we'll go further. See, whenever you face a problem in life, what happens is that that problem affects you so much, and thereafter your thoughts keep running towards that issue all the time. Let us say you had a financial loss. Now, logically, what is it that you should do? Okay, here is a financial loss. Now let me work up a plan. How do I rectify this? What things should I do in order to solve this? And you bring out an action plan and you go about executing that. This should be the logical approach. But your mind does not approach it that way. It gets affected by the issue. And then instead of looking for a solution, instead of focusing on the solution, throughout the day, the mind will keep thinking about the problem only. Thinking and feeling. See, when you observe your mind, you will begin to see the truth behind whatever is being explained to you. Let us say you have some health issue. Now, throughout the day, your mind will be thinking only about the disease. It is not free. That's why he uses the word bandhana, means you're a captive to your own perceptions, actions, speech, emotions and thoughts. You're not free. So even if you try and distract yourself, a little bit you distract, again the mind keeps going to the same problem. Any sorrowful experience happens, 24/7 your mind is only thinking about that. Instead of seeing, now okay, this issue is there, what is the solution? How do I move on in my life from this situation? Instead of seeing all that, now the mind has this tendency to keep going to the problem again and again without any purpose. This is something which you need to understand. Without any purpose. It doesn't want a solution. That's why we always say you fall in love with your own problems. You love to talk about your problems and create more pity on yourself. You pity yourself and you expect others also to pity you. That keeps on going. That is another samsara which you create. The mind creates a bondage in this way only. Uncontrolled emotions and thoughts running in a particular direction creates this bandhana, creates this bondage. So, whenever you experience such a thing in life, which you will anyway be experiencing, immediately remember this word, anyatra. It is not a mere word, it is a principle. Anyatra means he is shifting your focus from the problem to the solution. That is the sadhana of anyatra, shifting the focus. See, unless you practice that, the rest and all, whatever solution he may give, will be absorbed only as a theoretical solution. But if you want to practice all that and benefit, first you need to change this nature of the mind. The mind likes to be problem oriented, the untrained mind, It loves to keep thinking and feeling the same negative emotion again and again without any purpose, without any reason. No rhyme, no reason. See, can you give a logic to it? Let us say someone insulted you 1 week back. Even today when you think of it, you get so affected, you get angry. That incident is gone, but your mind will keep on going there. It is over externally, but internally you keep replaying it. That is what is meant by being problem oriented. So to the person who has asked that question, you should observe your own mind. This is a small suggestion which is being given not only to that person but to all the sadhaks. You should observe your own mind. Then you will understand whatever is being said even more clearly. 10 good things would have happened. One negative thing will happen. Immediately the mind will keep on running towards that only. Even when you read the newspaper every day or when you see the news channels, now 10 good news may be there. You will skip all that. Suddenly one negative thing may be there. Your mind will immediately start running towards that. This is the very weakness of the mind, this tendency to be problem oriented. So remember, every problem has a solution and the solution lies within the problem only. But for you to locate the solution, you need to shift your focus from being problem oriented to solution oriented. That is the significance of this word anyatra. Yes, the karma causes tremendous bondage, bandhanaha, no doubt about it. But accept this is going to give. What a powerful way, to approach the whole thing. Actually, the path from bondage to freedom can happen only if you pass through this anyatra, the sadhana of anyatra, if you change your focus. So as a homework, you can take that. Just observe yourself and see what is that predominant thought, predominant emotion or thought which is bothering you right now, which is going on in your mind. Invariably, it will be regarding some problem or some issue in your life. Maybe your health issue, maybe your finances, maybe your relationships. Whenever you are alone, it doesn't allow you to be free. The thoughts about the problem will start bothering you. It is your mind which generates those thoughts and then that starts bothering you. It builds a lot of negative energy. So the moment you observe that, it means you are standing a little apart and you're watching your mind. The amazing thing is the mind will start behaving itself. And then at that time, you can practice this sadhana of anyatra, that is shifting your orientation from being problem oriented to solution oriented. Okay, this is what is the issue. There is a relationship issue. And let's say you have an issue with your spouse. This is the issue. Now, what should I do in order to solve this? What mistake have I made? Oh, I have been rude to my spouse. Let me go and apologize sincerely. Oh, that person has been very rude to me. Let me go and talk to that person. Listen, this is something which I don't appreciate. Kindly don't do this. When you say it with confidence and conviction, that energy will go across. If you say it with a lot of hesitation and fear, it will not work. So you will get into the solution with full conviction only if you change your orientation. Yes, this health issue is there. What has caused this health issue? How have my habits been? Full late nights and total stress and all these things, factors have been there. Okay, now from this moment onwards, let me reverse all that. Let me do some kriyas, let me do some sadhana, let me become more consistent in gaining this wisdom, in doing my sadhana. And over a period of time, you will find that the health will get restored. So you can take this up as homework. This homework is not just merely for today, but this is a lifelong process. So any time your mind gets caught up with a particular issue and it does not want to move away from the issue, you should apply this. This is applicable for the issues which are very small. It is also equally applicable for big challenges, like someone near and dear to you has passed away, has died. That is a very big challenge which you will face. The mind will become very sorrowful. Yes, that's a natural reaction, but you can apply this there. Okay, it has happened. Now what should I do to move on? The moment you bring that intention, the Guru Shakti will flow. The Guru Shakti will give you that guidance. The guidance may come in any way. Probably on a Sunday session, suddenly you will get the solution. Something you will get, some help. You may get your solutions in your sadhana. Understand it is the work of the Guru Shakti. So all you need to do is to show that intention. Change your orientation from being problem oriented to becoming solution oriented, to finding a solution for the problem. That's all. So anyatra, apart from one type of actions, he says, so apart from one thing, he says all other actions have this nature of binding. The world is bound by action other than what? Yajñārtāt karmanaha. Actions done for the sake of sacrifice. Yajñaha means sacrifice. See, traditionally, the word yajñaha is used to denote the sacrificial ritual, where the sacrificial rite is made. The Havan Kund is there, that is the vessel, and you have the wood sticks and you light the fire and you pour the obligations, certain mantras are chanted and the fire god rises, the flames go up and you get the divine blessings. This ritual is called as yajñaha. Now, this is one of the things which is mentioned in the ancient wisdom. Now, as far as this chapter is concerned, when Krishna says you should do yajñaha, that is the meaning. When he says apart from yajñaha, all other actions will bind you, means you should do yajñaha. That's what it means. And then later on he will be saying that. Now, the first thing is, would he have meant the actual fire ritual literally? That is the question. Many people have taken it to mean literally the fire ritual. They say Krishna himself is telling in the Bhagavad Gita to perform yajna. Now, in this context, he is not meaning the fire ritual literally, but there is some other principle which he is trying to explain through the yajna. Yajna actually signifies a principle. It does not signify the ritual. It is not only Krishna, even in the Vedas, when the great masters gave these various rituals, that is only one portion of the Vedas. But the same Vedas contain other portions where they explain the principle behind these rituals. See, the Vedas are of 4 parts. The first part is called mantras. Mantras are divine chants, vibration, which create very divine vibrations. They eulogize nature, the natural forces, to create a lot of positive energy. And then comes the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas means that portion of the Vedas which gives the various rituals, like the various yajnas and all that. Different types of yajnas are there. Each yajna directed towards a particular fruit and all that. Out of all the yajnas, the highest type of yajna is also mentioned in the Upanishads, and that is called Brahma Yajna. Brahma Yajna means the yajna which you do to become one with Brahman or the infinite. So, from a spiritual standpoint, we relate to that. But anyway, this is the second portion, the Brahmanas. And then the third portion are called the Aranyakas. They give you the meaning of the rituals and the various methods of how you can internalize the principle behind the rituals. Various upasanas, practices are given. And then the fourth portion of the Vedas, the end portion of the Vedas are the Upanishads. So since they belong to the end portion of the Vedas, the Upanishads are also called the Vedanta. Veda Anta, the end of the Vedas. The Upanishads contains the highest wisdom of life. What life is all about and how you can become one with the infinite. Bhagavad Gita is an exposition of the Upanishads. So this is like a gradation. First the mantras, then the rituals, then subjective worship, the third portion, but then finally the real wisdom of life. So what has happened is that today, why has this ancient wisdom got lost? The real essence of this wisdom has got lost today. The reason is people are so caught up with the rituals that they have forgotten the real meaning, the principle of what these rituals stand for. When it comes to the rituals, they are symbolic. They represent certain principles. You have to learn those principles and apply those principles in your life. If you just merely stop with performance of those rituals without even understanding what they signify, then there is no use. See, I'll give you a simple example. A coconut is broken in the temple. The coconut represents the ego, the hard shell, no? That is the ego. So when the coconut is broken, it is symbolic of breaking your ego. That is the sadhana. And when the ego is broken, the white kernel is exposed. The purity within you will start manifesting. Now, every time you break a coconut, When you do it with that bhavana, that my sadhana is to break my ego, to break all the negativities with full force and expose the purity from within me, then that ritual actually serves as a reminder. It helps you to evolve. Actually, as you start practicing this internally, you don't even need to break the coconut because you're already doing it. Now, without this deeper principle, if you just mechanically break coconuts thinking that God will be pleased, God doesn't need your coconuts to become pleased and all that. Please understand. The state of God is supreme. That is, God is in a state of supreme happiness. It is a state of infinite bliss. You can neither please that infinite nor can you get the infinite to be angry, nothing. It is in a supreme state, way beyond your conception, way beyond your perception, way beyond your emotions. So these rituals signify certain principles, and those principles are the key to spiritual growth. The rituals can be changed according to times. If you take the yajnas which were prescribed during the pre-Vedic times, they are different. During the Vedic times, the masters changed, shortened certain rituals, but the principle remained the same. The principles should never be changed. See, for example, let us say there is a scarcity of coconuts. For some reason, you're not able to get coconuts at all. You can take some other thing also and break, as long as you understand the principle behind it. So the principle of breaking your ego can never change or should not change. So in this ancient wisdom, all the principles have been forgotten and everyone is just hanging on to the rituals without understanding the deeper meaning and purpose. So the same masters who gave the rituals, in some other context they have given the internal worship, they have given the principles. For example, if you take the Havan, fire, you perform the oblations, something you give, that's called ahuti, and then the fire god shoots up, it blesses you, you bow down to those divine powers which are blessing you. This is the ritual part. Now in the Upanishads, in many of the Upanishads, they have given techniques by which you can convert normal activities into yajna. They are not talking of the fire, doing that fire ritual. But how do you convert every activity into a yajna? Actually, in the 4th chapter, we'll be seeing that. Different types of yajnas he talks about. For example, right now, this wisdom is being given to you. This is a jnana yajna, we can say. What is the oblation? Your ignorance is the ahuti, oblations. So you're offering all your ignorance to that fire of knowledge. And the fire god shooting up is the internal knowledge or wisdom which will arise within you, and that will bless you. So you bow down. I'm only giving you a practical application of this yajna. If you go to the Chandogya Upanishad, this is very interesting. He takes the physical act, the physical union between a man and a woman, and he says that is also a yajna, which means our masters never saw anything as impure. They only gave methods by which you can make every action into divine. For example, they said the vital fluid of a man during the physical union is the ahuti, offering. The desire is the flame, which grows, which shoots up in the lady. So they have actually gone to a lot of details. What represents the summit, that is the wood, and it's all symbolically they have explained that. Even Adi Shankara mentions about this. It comes in the Chandogya Upanishad. There are many Upanishads which deal with the practical application of yajna. That is, how to apply this principle of yajna to divinize any activity. When you are in physical union, if you apply that principle given in Chandogya Upanishad, then that activity also will become a yajna. That's what they are trying to say. So how to convert all your actions into yajna? This is what you need to learn. So when Krishna is telling Arjuna, you have to do yajna, it is a reference to the fire ritual, no doubt, but not literally the fire ritual, but the principle behind that ritual. What is the basic principle of yajna? Yajna means sacrifice. Whenever you sacrifice something, whenever you offer the ahuti for a higher cause, that becomes a yajna. So, what is he asking Arjuna to do basically? He says, see, this war has been waged to resurrect righteousness. The people whom you are fighting with, they are all unrighteous people. So you offer your selfish interests for the sake of this higher cause. And you fight, you do your duty as a warrior here. Then this battlefield will become Arjuna's Havan Kund. Consider this battlefield as your Kund. Havan Kund means that vessel where the Havan or the Yajna is going to be performed. And you offer all your selfish interests. Those are the ahutis, what you're going to offer, your offerings, your oblations. For what? For the sake of righteousness. It's a righteous war which is being waged. When you view this war as a personal battle between you and the Kauravas, then there is no yajna there. But if you view it as a war between righteousness and unrighteousness, and you have an opportunity to play a part in resurrecting righteousness, then that becomes a yajna. That is the message of Krishna. So when you act in a mere selfish way, that action binds you. But when you act or when you perform the same action in a spirit of yajna, now that action liberates you. So you're doing various duties in your life. You're doing various actions. As a spouse, you may be doing certain actions. As a mother or father, you may be doing, as a parent towards your children. As an employee of your company, you're doing certain actions. Now let all those actions be the same. No need to change your actions. But now do it in a yajna way. Then those actions will no longer bind you. Very, very powerful message. So we'll stop with that today. We have started exploring into that sadhana of yajna. It's going to be very interesting, and we will go into the depth of it. Till when? We will go into the, so that is till when means towards achieving what? Not towards the understanding of yajna. This is not directed towards merely understanding this word yajna theoretically, but this whole exercise is directed towards the goal of converting every karma, every action which you do into yajna. How can you apply this principle in your life, wherever you are? That is the goal. Then only you can say, I am practicing yajna, I am gain a mastery over this principle. So Krishna is bringing that ancient principle of yajna, and he is applying it in the battlefield, and he is guiding Arjuna. Now the same wisdom is right now available to us also. Our life is like our battlefield. Probably our problems are more intense than what problems Arjuna faced. So we will have to take that ancient principle of yajna and apply it in our life. Then only you are truly gaining this ancient wisdom. If you just mechanically stick to the rituals without understanding the principles, much less practice them in your life, then you are approaching this in a very limited way. It will not give you the desired spiritual upliftment. Okay, so we'll stop with that. We'll go into more depth. We'll explore this further in the coming weeks. We'll be seeing the different dimensions of yajna, and not only in this verse after verse, he'll be giving you a few dimensions. So powerful, this principle. Just think about whatever was given to you, and as I told you, every day make it a habit to see these lectures at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, apart from watching this fully every Sunday. That will help you to remain connected. Okay? So now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations.
With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this physical body. I am not these emotions. I am not these thoughts. I am the infinite, eternal soul. The purpose of my life is to merge with the infinite, to become completely free. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme.
offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back, wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had a very powerful and deep session today. In the coming weeks, as we go into more and more depth of this principle of yajna, which is the key principle of karma yoga, you will find it very, very interesting and absorbing. As you start practicing these, you will find tremendous changes happening in your life. There is no doubt about this. So reflect on the points which were given today. Every week, this wisdom is being expounded to you systematically. So you also, in a disciplined way, do your homework, be connected throughout the week and see how you can apply these principles in your life. Okay? So tomorrow we are having the Yoga Sankirtan Empowerment course for this whole week, for the next week. So you don't need to do any other sadhana for the next 5 days. See, remember, when you are with the master, especially when you are attending the empowerment course, that is the highest sadhana which you can do. In the scriptures it is said, just to be with the Guru Shakti, that itself is a most powerful sadhana, because the Guru Shakti will just completely uplift us. So the next 5 days, be very free and simply attend the course with a clean mind. Don't worry so much about your individual issues, problems and all that. As the higher healing is given, all those things will slowly start going away. Okay. And another thing is, some people have asked whether, as usual, they can register some elderly people and all who are, some people are bedridden and all that, and even some kids have been registered, babies also. So now, in case that is being done, just make a special mention of it, and if possible, play the Yoga Sankirtan for them. The empowerment program itself can be played for them, even if they are lying on their beds. If possible, see whether you can arrange that, because the vibrations matters. Even if they are unable to view it, at least those vibrations can be absorbed. So anyway, make a mention of it separately. The list will be given to me by the organizers. So special healing will be given to them. Okay. So I'll see you during the course this week, and then next Sunday we'll continue with our yogic approach in terms of getting deep into the higher principles of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So thank you very much. Hari Om.